to welcome our umpires for Game 5. Rick Allen, A.J. Wendell, Seth Buckminster, and Mark Winters.
Hey, safe to say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas is hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in foreigns. I'm heartless, cause these niggas is hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. Hey.
Sunshine on day 3 of the Round Rock College Baseball Classic. We'll begin with Minnesota and Oregon State. Alongside Mike Harge, I'm Chris Maikowski. Thanks for joining us here on D1Baseball.com. Harge, Minnesota will look to salvage the weekend after dropping their first 2. And while Oregon State wasn't able to take down Oklahoma last night, Beavers enter this final day still in contention for a tournament championship.
Yeah, they're hoping that they can get that offense going again, just like they did last night with the big home run by Arquette. But they got to be able to pitch to stay in this ballgame. Of
course, Oklahoma in the driver's seat entering day 3. Sooners won the first 2 games, but if they fall, we could have 3 2-1 teams, hence the Beavers' hope for raising that championship belt. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, beginning with the visiting team in this one, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Number 9, Parker Knoll will lead things off and play center field, one of 6 returning seniors on this Minnesota roster. Then at second baseman, Easton Richter. The catcher is Weber Niels. Jake Elbery plays first base and bats cleanup. He has a team-leading .429 batting average in Round Rock. The left fielder is Drew Birkland, and DH Chris Hokinson. Right fielder Josh Fitzgerald. He moves down from the leadoff spot where he resided the last 2 days. Then third baseman Jamison Martin and shortstop Jack Spanier. Spanier has 2 RBI this weekend, the only Gopher with more than 1. They'll face Ethan Kleinschmidt on the mound as he makes his second start of the season. Last Sunday against Indiana, he went 6 innings of hitless ball, Harji, striking out 5 and walking just 2.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball that he's going to be able to get ahead with, but you also want to see if he's got control of his changeup. It looks like he did if he had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning.
Went through 6 almost without flaw, just those 2 free passes issued during that time. 84 pitches as Oregon State at that point vaulted to 3-0 on the season, beating the Hoosiers 6-0. They added 2 more wins before suffering their first loss of the season yesterday against Oklahoma, falling to the Sooners 8-4. And it's OU 2-0 on the weekend, entering Sunday. So it's pretty simple entering this final day of the Round Rock Classic. Sooners win. They are the champions, 3-0. They'll be hoisting the belt, which we'll show you later. If Oregon State wins and Virginia wins, then we're going to have to start doing some math. It'll be 3 teams at 2-1. We'll look at the run differential between those 3 to decide who earns the title.
When I signed up for this, I was told there will be no math.
I did all the math for us this morning. Don't worry. I crunched the numbers. First pitch of Game 5 at the Round Rock Classic from Ethan Kleinschmidt. In for a strike. Catches the low part of the zone. Parker Knoll watches that one past 1-1. Knoll yesterday went 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Moves up to the leadoff spot. Batted cleanup yesterday. Two-one pitch. Missing inside. Waiting on the 3-1 to Knoll. Missing up. Knoll gets a free pass to begin the game. First walk today after Kleinschmidt issued 2 of them against Indiana a week ago. And Easton Richter to try to get this offense started for Minnesota. It's been tough going for the Gophers. Just 2 runs on day 1, 2 runs on day 2. And head coach Ty McDevitt told us yesterday that he could basically just copy and paste what he told us after Friday. Harji, a good game where they just could not get over the hump. They need to get comfortable in these close games.
Well, it's a good start getting your leadoff guy on. Now let's see what kind of action they can move right here.
He talked to us on Friday morning before the first game that the Gophers played here that they've been pressing early, pressing late, get comfortable in the middle. They have to have 9 innings of consistent work to win games against high-caliber opponents.
And they're going to be challenged in the Big Ten with some of those new teams that are coming in, as well as some of the old ones. We saw Ohio State with a big game in Jacksonville.
These 2 teams met back in 2018 in a super regional in Corvallis, which Oregon State won in 2. To deep right field, carrying and caught at the wall by Easton Talt.
Sounded good off the bat. You go and try to find the wall, make sure you're tracking it properly, and all of a sudden he leaps up and makes a great play in right field. Wow.
We'll show you a lot of the web gems from over the course of the weekend at some point today. There's a lot of them. That might go to the top of the list as it saves 2 runs.
And think about that. The momentum, the way that this game is being played, the offense for Minnesota trying to generate offense, and you get a great play like that by the right fielder.
Let's take a look at the defense that's backing Kleinschmidt up. You saw Easton Talt there on display. Turley and Reeder also in the outfield. Then you have Caraway, Arquette, Singer, and Craig in the infield. Weber is the backstop. And he catches strike 3 from Kleinschmidt. Second out of the first.
Good breaking ball. Wow. Nice slider, 81-mile-an-hour slider.
Here's Jake Elbery, and the runner is going in there safely. Parker Knoll with his second stolen base of the season.
Sometimes it's a little tough to get a good jump on a lefty, but he had a great jump, straight steal. Just got past him on the outside. Perfect slot.
El Beery hitting .429 on the weekend, 3 for 7. Best on the Gopher roster and 6th overall among the student athletes in this tournament. Our official statistician, Larry Little, providing us with the big book of stats from the last 2 days, in large part to help us fill out our all-tournament team ballot that's due at the end of the finale. Nearly caught the outside corner.
I think Weber's selling it a little bit right there. Even had his pitcher believing that he deserved it.
Moves the count to 1-2 with 2 out and a runner on second. Got him that time. Went around. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Ethan Kleinschmidt to end the top of the first. Gophers got the leadoff man aboard, but he's left stranded at second, heading to the bottom of the opening frame in Round Rock.
The Beavers are the national champions!
Third time in the modern era.
Big-time moments as they clinch the Pac-12.
Manager Trevor Larnach.
Look out, Omaha. Here come the Beavers once again.
Now you've been summoned for a special occasion. I stay ready cause destiny impatient. Changes, haven't seen changes. If you talking fire, then we speak the same language. Rah. Coming up, I'm coming up. Feel the rush, I feel the rush. If this ain't legendary, what you call it? I said if this ain't legendary, what you call it? Feel the vibe, I feel the vibe. Extra live, I'm extra live. And I don't need improvement. Fell asleep, a man woke up superhuman.
Round Rock Classic presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Use that hashtag whenever you're talking about the Round Rock Classic, and follow peak.events on social media on all platforms. That's Peak DOT Events on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Oregon State will send Trent Caraway to the plate to get things started, the third baseman. Then it's Iva Arquette, who has 7 total bases. That's best among all players in the Round Rock Classic. He's at short. Then it's left fielder Gavin Turley. The DH is Tice Peterson. First baseman Jacob Craig is hitting a team-leading .375 in the Classic. Then Wilson Weber at catcher. Easton Talt, who had that defensive gem in the top of the inning, plays right, as you saw. Then A.J. Singer, 4 RBI this weekend for the Beavers. He's at second, and Cannon Reeder is in center. They'll face Justin Thorstensen for Minnesota. Redshirt senior out of British Columbia. And Harji, we talked about the furthest distance that fans may be traveling in here to Round Rock. There was a great social media post on the Karbach Round Rock Classic Instagram page yesterday asking fans about that. And if Justin has family in town, they very may win that contest.
That is so true.
Thought fans from Oregon State may be the victors, but no, a little bit further to the north, up in BC. Fielded by Jack Spanier and over to first to retire Caraway. Let's look at the defensive order backing up Thorstensen. In left, it's Drew Birkland. In center, Parker Knoll. In right, Josh Fitzgerald. Third baseman is Jamison Martin. We just saw Spanier at short, Easton Richter at second, and Jake Elbery at first. Weber Niels is the backstop for Justin Thorstensen, making his second appearance of the year. Last Sunday at Houston, he lasted 3 1/3, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned on 3 hits. Struck out 7 Cougars and walked 4. As the Gophers took a 8-7 loss in the finale at U of H. Shift is on for Iva Arquette.
He had a big blast to right field yesterday to get things going for the Oregon State Beavers, excuse me.
Lifted to center. Knoll waiting for it. We talk about the different difficulties for fielders given conditions, whether it be dealing with the lights as the ball goes above them and then back in. In this case, a lot of cloud cover right now, the sun peeking through, obviously, but you can also lose a ball in this sky.
Yep. A lot of times it's the high sky, and that's why it's always imperative that you never take your eye off the ball. Whether you're a fielder, whether you're someone walking in the stands, you need to pay attention because you do lose sight of the baseball.
First pitch coming to Gavin Turley. Fouls that one off into the parking lot. And again, I'm in the back row, taking no chances.
That's called a veteran move.
You caught me yesterday for a brief moment. I forgot where I was and parked in the front row to get the shortest walk to the press box. Quickly started the car back up. It's like, oh, wait, hold on. Where am I? I'm at a baseball game.
You definitely did, too. You collected your thoughts. You were thinking about the broadcast, thinking about everything else, and then you're like, wait a minute. I am coming to a ballpark.
0-2, 2 out. Missing just a bit high.
Great location, though. Try to tie him up with a fastball on the inner third.
One-two pitch coming with 2 outs. Fouled off above the luxury suites, one of those occupied by some Oregon State fans. Needed to get the vertical going to grab that foul ball.
I think he was blocked off by another side of it, too, so he couldn't get to it. It was in the box next to him.
We'll let him have it then. Excuses. It's all right. 1-2. Hit it through that huge hole that was left due to the shift. Second time we've seen that this weekend, Mike, that the shift allows a hitter to go oppo. And again, the argument for we don't need these silly rules in MLB. If there's going to be a hole, learn to hit through it.
Exactly. That's the problem. The guys at the big leagues make a lot of money to not do that. And I've heard Joey Gallo talk about, I get paid to hit home runs. Well, you're hitting 190. But this is the third time that I've seen Turley hit the ball to right field. I didn't realize they were shifting that much on him earlier in the series.
First pitch to Peterson, a little check swing foul ball.
But I am impressed that he is being able to stay on his swing and hit the ball to the right side. There's a lot of money to be made that way.
Yep. My fear, though, Harji, as these programs obviously are trying to build guys up to be prepared for the next level. So it seems inevitable that the college game will eventually match those rules in the pros.
I think it should happen. I'm one of those guys that I'm not a big fan of the shift. We've seen it multiple times with routine ground balls that are just getting out of the arms stretched out. Yeah, it's a different game. So I get off my lawn guy.
0-2, 2 out. Just foul. There are some parts that I can embrace of the new rules, but I prefer to, you've got your guys out there. I say play them wherever you want.
Right.
We know where the pitcher has to go. We know where the catcher has to go. Otherwise, put your 7 guys where you think is best on defense. If you want to be unconventional, fine. I don't think you should put boxes on them.
Very fair. Very fair. How do you feel about the speed up rule?
We'll get into that. 0-2. Missing outside. Of everything, biggest thing is the runner going to second in extra innings.
Right.
Now that is...
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
As a former youth baseball coach, I've seen the California tiebreakers, what they like to call it.
Got him on the slider, retiring Peterson. And Gavin Turley is left stranded after a 2-out single in the bottom of the first. Scoreless through 1 in Round Rock.
A concerted effort that when you walk through these doors and when you walk through Dan Wilson Walkway, we're in it. We're in it. At the end of the day, this is big time college athletics, all right? And you guys are going to be treated like professionals.
Call me Bucky, lucky that I'm innocent. If I didn't have no morals, I'd be menacing. How about rapping conscious but he ignorant? How he from the hood but still gon' go legitimate? How he fuck a bunch of but they still respect the women. He's the rolling, it's another. He just got the window tinted. Homie stab me in the back and that can never be forgiven. And my files been itching, man, I like your superstition.
Round Rock Classic presented by D1Baseball.com. No one covers college baseball like D1 Baseball. Covering every game from coast to coast, D1 Baseball is the resource that no college baseball fan can be without. And if you're watching this, you know that because you have subscribed to the site. We appreciate you doing so and being with us for the Round Rock Classic and the Jacksonville Classic this weekend. Exclusive home of both events. And here on the site, we'll also have next weekend's Frisco Classic and Las Vegas Classic. Plenty to consume on the site right now, in addition to reports from Kendall Rogers from here in Round Rock. You also have material from the event in Arlington this weekend at Globe Life Field, where Arkansas and TCU played in front of the second largest college baseball crowd in Arlington history.
I can only imagine that.
Bomb south. Over 17,000 in the house last night.
Wow.
0-2, missing away.
That's impressive. Both of those teams, though, they follow each other in baseball so well. The fan base, everybody loves the fact that both of those universities playing each other.
Here's Drew Birkland. Swing and a miss. Ethan Kleinschmidt with his third consecutive strikeout. Harji got Niels and Elbery in the first, and then to start the second inning, Case Birkland.
Good fastball, sinker on the outer third. Just swung through it. Looked like he was right there, but just swung through it.
He's Chris Hokinson, DH.
What a beautiful day for baseball. After what we've been through the last few days, the whole week, to be out here today, Can't ask for anything better. Nice
really
and cool.
Makes you appreciate today a lot more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I arrived here in Round Rock on Wednesday morning with plans of calling the Oregon State-Houston midweek game. Left my house outside Dallas at 6 a.m. Wanted to get here in plenty of time. And at about 8:30, got the call that there will be no game today.
Right. And I believe that's right after that you text me and said, hey, they're not playing that game today.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but was already past the point of no return, more than halfway down here, so went ahead and completed the trip. 2-2, missing high and inside. I would have had to repeat the trip again Thursday morning to be here for practices, so figured may as well keep on going so long as I have permission from Mrs. Mikoski. As long as I was not needed at the house. Got the thumbs up. 3-2. Missing away the second walk issued by Kleinschmidt.
Right fielder number 16, Josh Fitzgerald.
Good, decent crowd. We've been talking about Oregon State and how they travel.
It's been really impressive. You know, last weekend in Surprise, they packed the place out. That's become an annual tradition over the past 2 decades for Oregon State baseball to begin the season at that spring training facility, the home of the Rangers and the Royals. And still some Beaver fans deciding either they're going to make both trips or that, you know, I'm going to change things up. And instead of Surprise this year, come on down to Round Rock. And I'm sure we'll see plenty of them next weekend in Arlington, too, as the Beavers will go back home for a few days and then fly right back to Texas. But they've been on the road since midweek last week before those games in Surprise, straight from Surprise here to Round Rock. They'll finally get to sleep in their own bed for a few days before heading to Arlington. 2-1. Fouled off by Fitzgerald.
I was talking to one of the pitchers' parents from Oregon State last night, and they were telling me about how their travel arrangements are made. They had another son that also played as well, so they had to make all the trips and plan them all out just to be able to go watch their kid play.
The dedication for so many of these student-athlete parents is tremendous, and the expense to get to a lot of these tournaments, they want to be there. So many road series as well.
Well, they've been doing it all their lives when you think about it, all the select travel and everything else. So why not just keep this thing rolling?
Plenty of frequent flyer miles. Full count to Fitzgerald, who led off Friday's game with a home run. Put Minnesota up 1-0 on Oklahoma. The only run that Kyson Witherspoon allowed that day. We asked Kyson about his attitude after giving up that leadoff home run to Fitzgerald. He basically thought in his head, all right, got that one, you're not getting another. And he was right.
That was one heck of a performance.
3-2. Big swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Can't complete a double play. But they'll say no interference on Fitzgerald. So, in fact, it is a double play. Fitzgerald strikes out, and Hokanson retired due to batter interference. And Kleinschmidt faces the minimum here in the second. Another look, Hargy.
Yeah, he stepped across the plate on a strikeout, and you knew it right away.
Minnesota unable to move Hokanson around after a one-out walk. And we are still scoreless through 1.5 innings at the Dell Diamond. Round Rock Classic brought to you by Karbach Brewing Company, crafted for fun. Please drink responsibly. Appreciate the folks from Karbach for taking care of our broadcast team. I enjoyed a nice Ziegenbach at my hotel room when I got done last night. They brought out tall cans for us.
Yes.
Jacob Craig also acquired a 6-pack of Love Street Blonde, so taking that back home to Dallas.
Yeah, I haven't been over to get mine. I'm going to have to go in between games. Not to enjoy them, but to be prepared for tonight.
Yeah, make that clear. The Karbach products are not consumed by Hargy or me until the ball games are over for the day.
No doubt.
Now, plenty of fans in the stands are enjoying them during the game. That's great. 1-1. I've been told, though, that our broadcast might be a little bit more entertaining if we decided to consume during the game. But we are professionals, if nothing else.
There you go.
Here's Craig waiting on the 2-1. Slider in there at 78.
That action looked like he was looking for a fastball to be able to jump on it. But he changed speeds perfectly.
Craig with 3 home runs during the Beavers' 4-game trip to surprise Arizona. Goes down looking. Strikeout number 2 for Justin Thorstensen.
That had to catch just enough of the strike zone. I'm talking about very, very little. We've seen plenty of those this weekend, though.
Rick Allen is calling balls and strikes. A.J. Wendell down the first base line. Seth Buckminster up the middle. And Mark Winters down the third base line. That makes up our umpiring crew for Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic. And Wilson Weber in the box now. And the shift is on against Weber. 3 infielders to the left of second base. Last time we saw the shift on, the hitter was able to take advantage of it, hitting it through that huge hole that exists between the first baseman and the second baseman. That was Gavin Turley who did that in the first.
A big rip by Weber right there. Speeding him up a little bit. Came with a 71-mile-an-hour slider, then threw him a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
1-2. A pair of strikeouts looking for Thorstensen. Robot ump says that should have been a ball, Harji.
He's spotting his pitches. He's got good location right now. He's getting it where he's set up. He thought it was a strike, too, the way he jumped off the mound.
So we have TrackMan technology up here in our booth. Immediately, we see where it lands in the strike zone or out. Also receive pitch type information, pitch speed, spin rate. Really cool tool. Shift is on now against Talt the other way with the lefty. Minnesota sending 3 infielders to the right of second base, and Easton Richter is in shallow right field. Right, trying to take advantage of that with a bunt.
Right on cue. That was exactly what was going through my mind right before that. Where you were talking about the shift, I was looking, and I was like, why doesn't he just try to drag bunt right here? Because the second baseman's so far back that if he pulls that with him and brings it with him, he'll walk into first base. Great idea.
Now he faces an 0-2 count, and Minnesota adjusting the shift. Spanier creeping back to the left side of the bag. 0-2. Fouled off. Just human instinct to flinch, even though you have that big net right in front of you.
Yep. Natural.
I think even you and I are victims of that. When the foul ball comes straight back, we know that's there. We know it's not coming into the booth. But sometimes, if it goes a little higher, we could get a souvenir. 0-2. Missing away. Hasn't come close this weekend. But in 6 years of calling the Round Rock Classic, we have had baseballs land right here where we stand. Third level at Dell Diamond. Backhanded stop by Elbery, flipping it to Thorstensen to end the inning. Justin Thorstensen with a pair of strikeouts and a ground out to finish things off in the second. And we remain scoreless. 2 innings complete in Round Rock.
Ran up out of Lux and that's up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walking New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Stay up to date with the Karbach Round Rock Classic all year long. Follow the tournament on social media. There's the handle at Karbach RRC, or visit the website karbachrrc.com. In addition to news and prize giveaways, it's also the place to make a donation to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, the beneficiary of this tournament. Upper right-hand corner, you'll see the logo to make a donation. And right below that and to the left, you'll see the silent auction that continues through today. So get your bids in now. We have trips available to Barbados and Antigua, plus autographed baseballs from all 4 of the teams in the Classic. Jamison Martin, Jack Spanier, Parker Knoll due to the plate for Minnesota. That one had some English on it, but Craig able to pick it up and find the bag.
Yeah, that ball's going to be thrown out because there's a lot of English, as you said, was on that ball. That means they hit it off the end of the bat. And I'm almost positive it was tore up.
I've been checking in on these auction items, Harji. We need to do so since we mentioned it. Here's Spanier. Able to catch the inside corner. All right, so do you want to go to Antigua or Barbados?
Yes.
Backhanded by Caraway across the diamond, and outstretched Craig can't bring it in.
Single.
Infield single for Spanier.
Wow. Interesting.
Tough play for Caraway.
Well, I mean, at this level, you got to be able to make that because he was going to try to go. Good thing he didn't. Good thing he kind of slipped right there. But, you know, you talked about Barbados or Antigua. I would go Antigua right now.
Okay. The minimum bid has been met now for one of those trips to the St. James Club. $250. So raise it by at least 50 and you could be heading to Antigua.
I'm have to hang in there and see what's going on.
First pitch to Parker Knoll in there. Barbados still waiting on the first bid to Barbados. People are a little bit gun shy on these trips right now, it appears. I'm going to need to make a call.
To get the okay on this one?
Make a call home.
I'm scared.
Problem is,
I'm scared to call home because we'll end up getting both of them.
Well, yeah. They're going to get him on the pickoff attempt. No, wow. Sail it over the head of Singer, and Spanier advances.
Living right.
Scoring change. Give it E5 on the E5 on the draw.
Error on Singer. Error on Craig as Spanier advances. Singer was just an innocent bystander. And that's the first evidence I've heard that Larry Little is not perfect because he said E5.
Right.
E3.
Well, he said on Caraway, so it was E5 on the throw.
Oh, they went back to that one. I thought.
Yeah, it was E5 on the throw, and then E3 on the other one.
Yeah,
stolen base on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was running right away, so you're not for sure going to get him out.
Got to give him the stolen base there.
Yep.
So the previous play.
Correct.
All right, so I'm the idiot, not Larry. And again, Spanier in trouble. This time, Oregon State runs him down. Wow.
Puck stealing 1-4-5. As a pickoff for the pitch.
So Spanier got a gift with that throw from Craig sailing high. Decides, you know what? I'm playing with house money.
That's right. He was getting greedy right there. He thought he was going to be able to get there and try to generate some offense for this Minnesota team. But they've been running themselves out of innings.
Looking for the spark. Instead, with Parker Knoll at the plate, there's nobody on and 2 out. Ty McDevitt wants his team to be aggressive. That may be a little too much from Spanier.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted that to be a part of it. And again, Spanier can run. And he's already in scoring position at second base. You don't want to take it out of his hands.
He told us a lot last night about just wanting to play clean baseball, minimize mistakes. 3-2 with 2 out. Got him looking. Inside corner, Painting the black, it's Ethan Kleinschmidt. 5 strikeouts through 3 innings for the Oregon State Sunday starter. Still scoreless through 2.5 in Round Rock.
Face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what.
Round Rock, Texas, Dell Diamond, home of the Rangers' AAA affiliate, the Express. Musical Donuts. Won by that young fan. A lot more fun than musical chairs. Now the question is, what's the prize? Does he get a dozen? Jacksonville College Baseball Classic also underway this morning, exclusively here on D1Baseball.com. Darren Vaught, Jack DeLongchamp on the call, where Ohio State leads Alabama 10-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Buckeyes looking to close the weekend out on a high note. Big Ten versus SEC in Jacksonville. Big Ten versus GDI here in Round Rock.
For those that don't know what GDI stands for.
As Harji didn't at the start of the weekend.
Absolutely did not know that.
So I first learned that term in college because I was not pledging a fraternity. So, PG-rated version, I'm a gosh darn independent. And you say that with pride, too.
Yep. I was wondering.
I'm not a frat guy. I'm a GDI.
Was that in Animal House, too, also?
I don't remember if that was used there.
Because it seems like something that Belushi would have said during that time.
And not saying it a nice way.
No.
Now, independents like myself and like the Beavers, we say it with pride that we're GDIs. 2-2 to A.J. Singer. 4 runs batted in on the weekend. Didn't get the call, missing inside. Correct according to the robot umpire. TrackMan technology up here in the booth. 3-2 pitch. Got him looking. Thor drops the hammer on A.J. Singer.
He's not afraid to go inside, and that was absolutely a perfect pitch. And if you were going to miss, you were going to miss there. And he's been throwing the ball well on the inside half.
4th strikeout of the day for Justin Thorstensen. Now the 9-hole hitter, Cannon Reeder. First playing time of the weekend for Reeder, batting in the 9 spot. Last time that Minnesota was in the NCAA tournament, it was 2018, and that run was ended in a super regional by these Oregon State Beavers. Oregon State won in a sweep in Corvallis. Ty McDevitt, new head coach, trying to bring the Gophers back to the postseason, taking over from John Anderson, who spent 43 years leading the program. Cloud cover's dissipating, Harji. It is nice and bright. This is a beautiful thing to see. 1-2. Last couple of days, rainy, freezing, just gross.
Yeah.
I was in
That's the nicest way you could put that.
I was in 5 layers on Friday. Able to drop 1 yesterday, but it wasn't much better. And then today, look at this.
No. Nice and bright. Nice and bright.
I'm down to just a polo and a quarter zip today.
That makes 2 of us.
You've got your brand new 2025 edition of the Round Rock Classic quarter zip. Nice cream color.
But I think I have the 2023 version of the polo.
2-2. I can't pinpoint the year on this pullover.
It's one of my favorites, though. I wear it often.
The embroidered logo as opposed to the screen printed. You saw how well we were dressed if you tuned into the beginning of the broadcast. Normally the only time you get to see our attire. Otherwise, we were just faceless voices for you throughout the ball game, the way it should be. As it used to say in the intro to my radio show, for a TV guy, he sure does have a face for radio. 3-2. Just missing away. Cannon Reeder, the 9-hole hitter, is aboard with a walk. And Oregon State returns to the top of the order with Trent Caraway.
Reeder showing a lot of patience in that at bat, fouling off some tough pitches, but laying off a breaking ball that stayed out. Tried the backdoor slider, but it stayed away. Just as close, he's swinging.
Well,
and it wasn't close.
It missed away according to the robot ump, but a strike called by Rick Allen.
Yeah, he's very aggressive at the plate, Caraway is.
0-1 pitch. Big swing that time. Oregon State led by Mitch Canham, who told us yesterday was not the Beavers' best baseball. Can't walk that many guys. Never going to win games when you're not pummeling the zone. Missing away. Just spent way too much time in the field yesterday, Harji.
Yep. And those are the types of things as a fielder you want to stay in a rhythm as well, because the action keeps you engaged in the ball game. When you're on the field a lot, it kind of gets a little frustrating, and you lose some focus from time to time.
Check over to first. And Coach Canham said this team cannot get complacent. Had a great win on Friday, but that doesn't do anything for you the next time you're on the field. But he expects his players to stretch like national champions, to play catch like national champions, just run around the stadium and feel confident. Fully expected that to be the case when they came to the yard this morning. Reeder heading to second. Dives in safely head first.
He had a great jump on that at first. And again, when you're facing lefty-lefty, sometimes it's time for you to get a good jump and go on first move, and that's exactly what it looked like. Good speed by Reeder as well.
Full count to Caraway with Reeder on second now. Into center field. Knoll coming on. It bounces in front of him. Beavers have runners on the corners with one out, and Iva Arquette stepping up.
It's great base running right there by Reeder. One thing is always true. You got to make sure you know where the outfielders are, and that ball was one of those sinking line drives that you're not sure if the center fielder, which we've seen great plays all weekend, you got to hold up just to make sure that you see it down. And plus, you don't want to run into an out with this big fella coming up to the plate that can change it real quick.
And Arquette last night against Oklahoma had a 2-run homer in the first. In the Beavers opener of the weekend, provided a double and scored in the 8th. He has cemented a spot on my all-tournament team ballot. Those are due near the end of the final game. But the way I like to do it, Harji, through now 6 years in Round Rock and several more in Frisco, calling play-by-play for peak events, I like to put together my ballot in a preliminary phase on the morning of the last set of games.
Gotcha.
And people can break in, things can change. But I like to have a good outline, so I'm not having to rush anything when they're due.
No, absolutely, because we're working when they're due.
1-1 to Arquette. Ooh. Fouled back.
Ooh, he got away with that one, and he knows it, and Arquette knows it as well.
90 miles per hour in the exact middle of the strike zone. Fouled back. One, two. Missing inside this time. Neal's having to shuffle to his left, keep that ball in front of him, and make sure that Reeder can't come home. 2-2 pitch coming into left field. Berkland backtracking, diving to make the catch. The play of the weekend. Reeder scores, but you're not going to find many better plays than that in college baseball this year.
I've told you, we have seen some unbelievable plays this weekend. What a great play. Fully stretching out in left field. What a play by Berkland. Wow. Saved another run, too, because if that ball gets to the wall, Caraway's scoring from first base because he was about to get on his horse.
That's the wildest sacrifice fly we're going to see. Reeder scores, and it's 1-0 Beavers. Oregon State scoring the first run and taking the lead normally would be the headline, but not in this case.
111 off the bat. Wow.
Gavin Turley try to add to the offense for the Beavers. Trent Caraway standing at first. And now off to the races. He'll get down to second without a throw.
Another good jump once again. I like the fact that these guys like to run. I like the action of the game.
0-2 pitch and running again. 2 stolen bases for Caraway on back-to-back pitches.
Nice.
He's seeing something from Thorstensen, knowing he can take advantage of it. One-two. To the right side, Elbery steps on the bag. Oregon State starts the scoring in Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic as Iva Arquette lifts the ball to left, and Drew Birkland makes this amazing catch. Cannon Reeder tags from third to score. Beavers 1, Golden Gophers nothing. 3 innings complete in Round Rock.
Ran up out of luck, soon as I up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could die better. They mouths were full of deceit, let these cowards tell it. Walking New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Round Rock Classic presented by the Round Rock Convention and Visitors Bureau. Visit GoRoundRock.com and see why this is the sports capital of Texas. 6th annual Round Rock Classic. Minnesota, Oregon State, Virginia, and Oklahoma making their way to Central Texas. We'll see the Cavaliers and the Sooners with a 4 o'clock Central Time start. Minnesota trying to salvage a game. They are no longer in contention for the championship belt. Show that to you after Easton Richter's at bat. If Oregon State wins and Virginia wins today, then you get into run differential math to decide the champion. So the Beavers still have a shot at it. They'll be rooting for the Cavaliers later. 3-0 pitch. Caught the inside corner. Richter didn't think so. Robot up. Says should have been ball 4. 3-1. That time does catch the outside corner, according to technology.
It's working inside, working outside. Hit all parts of the zone.
3-2 pitch to Richter. Brought in by Caraway. RD, here's what they're playing for. The championship belt. The WWE style. That's what you win here in Round Rock.
I like the fact that they've had all the features of Round Rock. The tower, the flag, and it is a great looking belt.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit different than the ones that we've seen before.
They're always dressing it up a little bit.
Like it.
Adding a little flair. Into shallow center field, and Reeder comes on to make the catch. And we talked about this yesterday. The winning team should allow their most valuable player to wear that belt to classes on Monday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that would be outstanding, and people will want to know about it. You start looking at all the different features that are on there. That's pretty cool.
I do know the MVP actually gets a miniature belt as their reward, but you can't wear the miniature belt. It fits a doll or stuffed animal.
Well, most of them you can put around your shoulder anyway, walking around like a real champion.
You got to have the big championship belts on Monday in class. Lifted to left. Turley coming on. Won't be able to get there in time. Elbery is aboard with a 2-out single.
Elbery just finds ways to get on the bag, putting the ball in play and hitting them where they're not. Impressive. You know, you look at it and you're like, oh, man, he got jammed, got it out there, but he still had to fight through that, stayed inside the ball, hit it the opposite direction, and just got on base. Only way you're going to score runs, get guys on base.
Here's Birkland, who made the play of the weekend. Robbing Iva Arquette of extra bases. Goes down as a simple sacrifice fly to left, but it was anything but normal. Birkland struck out swinging in the second. He's waiting on the 0-1 offering from Kleinschmidt. Kleinschmidt so far through 3 2/3 has allowed just 1 hit. He has walked 2 and struck out 5.
That right side of the baseball field has been busy with foul balls all weekend long. I wonder how many has been picked up in the parking lot as people are walking in.
Easton Talt trying to track this one down. It's fair and gone. Drew Birkland with the catch of the weekend and now adds a homer on the offensive side.
That is awesome for him. Got a pitch he could handle, stayed behind it again, and just drove it to right field down the line. Big time play and a big time swing. And we got ourselves a ball game, folks.
2-1 Gophers. We were waiting on 2 signals from A.J. Wendell, the ump down the first base side. First came fair, then about a second later, it's gone.
The thing that is so impressive to me is the ability for a lot of these guys to drive the ball out of the ballpark in the opposite direction. Love it. Love it.
Golden Gophers won their season opener at Houston and have lost 4 straight since then. And now find themselves ahead of the 7th-ranked team in the country, the Oregon State Beavers. Got him on 3 pitches. Ethan Kleinschmidt with his 6th strikeout of the afternoon, but he gives up the bomb to Drew Birkland. And the Golden Gophers go up 2-1. Oregon State coming to bat with Tice Peterson, Jacob Craig, and Wilson Weber. Trivia question presented by the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Have to remember what occurred here 1 year ago. Who won last year's Round Rock Classic. There are your choices. We'll have the answer after this half inning. No Googling, no visiting the Round Rock Classic website. This is sheerly from memory. We want to know if you remember. I know you remember.
I do.
I remember.
I do.
I can remember things that happened a year ago. Can't remember things that happened a week ago.
I was going to say, I can't remember things that happened yesterday half the time.
But when it comes to baseball,
absolutely,
our memory is much better.
Way better.
Tice Peterson leads things off for Oregon State. He was the first strikeout victim of Minnesota starting pitcher Justin Thorstensen to end the first. Thorstensen with 4 strikeouts through 3 innings of work. One more man retired, and he'll match the length of his first outing. He went 3 1/3 at Houston. Oh-2 pitch, lifted to left center. Berkland and Knoll going after it, and Knoll makes the catch just a couple of feet in front of the warning track.
We've seen some guys that have been able to track some ball in center field, left field, right field. We've seen a lot of great plays. That was a good jump again by Knoll, guy that looks like he can run a little bit, and he's done some great stuff out there in center field. Made the diving play yesterday.
Craig struck out looking in his first AB. That was in the bottom of the second.
I'm wondering if sometimes it looks like these guys are either looking for something else or not picking it up right away out of his hand. Because I would expect a big fella like that to jump all over those fastballs when he saw them. Good take right there, though.
Thorstensen, the redshirt senior from Richmond, British Columbia. Last year was the second most active reliever on the Minnesota staff, going 37 innings.
Think he was excited about that hockey match the other night with Canada and USA?
I imagine so. A little bit of bragging rights amongst his teammates. Stretching out and making the play. Martin to Elbery.
Nice play. Ranging to his left glove hand. Had to set himself and make a strong throw across the infield.
Thorstensen doesn't get any say in the matter, but definitely a nice way it worked out for him in getting the Sunday starter role, meaning he would get to face Oregon State, his former school, this weekend. Spent 3 years as a Beaver before transferring to Minnesota.
Not only that, he won the luck of the draw with the weather.
That's true, too. 0-1. Just one decision during his time on the Oregon State pitching staff. Won a game in 2023.
Yep.
Wanted a bigger role and found it last year as a reliever for the Golden Gophers, and this year a weekend starter.
He missed the spot pretty bad right there. I knew that He wanted to come on the inside part of the plate.
1-2 into right. Fitzgerald moseys in to make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning, the second of the day for Justin Thorstensen. Minnesota leads Oregon State 2-1, 4 innings complete in Round Rock. Time for our trivia answer here at the Round Rock Classic. Who won last year's tournament? A, Washington State, B, Kentucky, C, Texas State, D, Kansas. It was, in fact, those Washington State Cougars. Fellow Pac-12 member with Oregon State. This year, the Cougars are playing an affiliate membership schedule as part of the Mountain West Conference, while Oregon State decided to go out on its own and schedule as an independent this year. Kendall Rogers from D1Baseball.com will join us for the next inning as Minnesota will send up Josh Fitzgerald, Jamison Martin, and Jack Spanier. Breaking out the sunglasses.
You and me both, brother. You and me both.
Peak staff arrived here on Tuesday. I got here on Wednesday morning hoping to see Oregon State play Houston. About an hour before I arrived, got the call that that's not happening. And then suffered through rain and cold and 5 layers of clothing here in the booth for the last 2 days. It's perfect today in comparison. In your role, you could be at any weekend series, any tournament this weekend. This is where you chose to be, and it's an obvious reason. This field was incredible.
Oh, it really is, man. There's a lot to really like about this Oregon State team. And, of course, Oklahoma guys, we did not have them in our top 25 coming this season. That might be a little bit of a mistake because I think if you look at just what OU's done the past couple of days, I really like Kyle Branch up the middle for them. I know Skip is excited about him in the fall. And then some of the arms yesterday, you know, Malachi Witherspoon, Kyson on Friday, Kate Crossland, I thought, did a really nice job out of the bullpen. So I really liked all the teams. And honestly, Minnesota has played with everybody in this tournament, and we've just been kind of waiting on them to get that big hit. And, you know, Drew Berkland does has the great defensive play in left, and then finally they get a big hit. I think it was yesterday they hit one right to the Intel sign that just fell just short of a huge home run. And so it was, you know, unfortunately for OSU fans, it was nice to see them finally get a big hit here because they've played toe-to-toe with these teams.
Yeah, a couple of times. Easton Richter was robbed earlier today. Just can't get over that hump, get that big hit. Sometimes it's just flat-out bad luck with
And some of the things, too, you guys have been doing a great job of keeping everybody abreast of the changes and where guys are and teams as they start to build their rosters. And these types of tournaments kind of lets the coaches dictate, all right, let me see which guy is going to be ready for me in a certain situation. You want to see these challenges early in the season. And obviously, to your point, you got a chance to see Oklahoma, and you're like, wow, they might be a little bit better than what we thought.
There's no doubt about it. And I think that you bring up a good point, Harge, on just tinkering. Yesterday, Brian O'Connor takes Jacob Ferentz out of the lineup, and, Wells goes in there and does a really nice job, gets a big hit for them, kind of sparks their offense. So this is the kind of year that you can kind of tell, hey, if things aren't going right, who can we put in that is going to inject some energy into this club? And, it's really neat to see, because once you get into conference play, you can't do that quite as much because you could end up in a hole if a couple of those gambles go wrong.
Right.
Jamison Martin lays down a sacrifice bunt, moves Fitzgerald to second base. Jack Spanier will step in. He has a couple of RBIs on the weekend. And I know you embrace this.
Yeah.
Think that most fans believe that you hate their team. So,
of course I do.
Tell me this weekend on social media, as the Sooners have done what they've done, 2 wins, how many Oklahoma fans are coming your way and said, see, this team should be ranked?
Well, I did have a couple of people message me last night after praising Oklahoma in a story. Well, you guys should have had them top 25 coming this season. So, I always tell people, if around here, A&M fans think I'm a Texas homer, Texas fans think I'm an A&M homer. If both of those things are true, I'm doing something really right. Harge knows what's up with that.
Exactly. I see it every single day for you, and I just sit back and I laugh because
it's the best.
It's kind of crazy when you start to think about the fan bases at the very beginning of the season. It's like, let the things play out. Preseason things have to happen and certain things have to go down, but every once in a while you get some things that you start to really see unfold, like this team, this Oregon State team. If you look at their lineup top to bottom, they're one of the most deadly teams out there.
Yeah.
They're not even in a conference this year. So now you're trying to figure out, okay, what do they have to do to get those points, those RPIs and quad wins and everything else that goes with it?
Yeah, I'll touch on 2 things real quick. You talk about the passion of college baseball fans, and let me give some props to Oregon State fans. Last weekend, a surprise, I'm going to say they had like 3,000 or 4,000 people there, and they've had really good crowds despite the cold weather here, and they have an awesome crowd again here today. So I don't know if they just have a lot of alums in the Austin area, or they're just traveling that well, but that's really impressive.
It's a combination of the two for sure. We actually had a post on the Round Rock Classic Instagram page asking fans where they traveled from. You got a mix from Beaver fans. I went to school there, but I live here now, or I came all the way from Corvallis.
Yeah.
I might have some visitors from British Columbia here as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I've been to Corvallis a few times throughout my career covering college baseball. Man, that's as good as it gets. I mean, those people, that ballpark, they are on top of you at Goss, and it is loud. It is crazy. Like if you are a college baseball fan, you're like, hey, you should go here. Like, clearly there's a lot of SEC schools on that list, but like Oregon State is right there at the top for me. Like, it's an incredible environment, and those people, I mean, they live and breathe Beaver baseball.
Now, you are a lot more well-traveled than I am when it comes to seeing those college ballparks. I spent 5 years of my life in Baton Rouge, so got to experience the old box and the new box, and I always think of that as the mecca for college baseball, but there are plenty of other stadiums that are certainly on par, if not better than that experience.
Yeah, it's a very unique place. I mean, they're out there tailgating I think I was out there for regional a couple of years. It was a national championship year. I was out there for a regional. And, I mean, I pull up like 3 hours before the game, and it was like LSU-esque tailgating. It was pretty cool. Also learned when I went to Corvallis that you're not allowed to pump your own gas. So I found that out real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I visited Portland. And
I was yelled at. Guy comes storming out of his shell screaming at me, asking what I'm doing. So, me being a East Texas guy going to Oregon, I was like, whoa, what is going on here? So Pat Casey had to kind of give me the lowdown on the laws around there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, what a beautiful area, though, man. It is incredible there in that Willamette Valley.
And I thought that changed. The law changed 3 years ago.
Oh, it did?
You can pump your own gas now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's outstanding. Congratulations.
I don't want that. I want you to come out and pump my gas. I want to do that. I want to
I always feel weird. Like, when I did it, I was like, wait, man, I feel weird, like, watching you pump my gas for me. So
3-2 the count against Jack Spanier. with Fitzgerald at second. That one fouled back.
Hard, you mentioned their lineup a minute ago. One of the guys I've really liked this weekend that I probably was not expecting to be just kind of a breakout guy was A.J. Singer. Like his approach throughout the weekend has been really good. I like the fact that he's been in there in some key situations and gotten huge hits for them. So, again, when you have an 8 or 9 hole hitter that's able to give you that kind of production, that's pretty special.
It's ironic that you say that.
Into center, Reeder comes on to make the grab, and Fitzgerald retreats to second.
Because that was my first thought as well. When I saw him at the bottom of the lineup and I saw him come up in certain situations, you always have to have that guy that just comes in to play ball.
Yep.
You got the big power guy as shortstop. You got some guys that can run in the outfield. You got all features. But you need that glue guy in the middle of your field to be able to come up in those clutch situations and execute.
No doubt, and they showed some versatility this weekend. Was it on Friday? Trent Carraway dropped down a bunt. I mean, they've got their big hitters who can certainly hit homers like Abe Arquette, but then you got guys like Carraway who can actually drop down a bunt and put some pressure on pitchers.
This is Parker Knoll, top of the Minnesota batting order. Hit cleanup yesterday and moves up to the top spot. He walked to start the first, then struck out looking to end the third. Ethan Kleinschmidt continues his work, the lefty on the bump.
Talk a little bit about D1 baseball and all the special features that you guys have added on every single step of the way. I mean, if you want to know anything about college baseball, there's only one place you should be going, and that's d1baseball.com. But you guys keep adding special features. You have the podcast. You have all kinds of talks that are going on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. Even since I've known you guys, we've done a lot more than we used to. I mean, we started this thing as just a little bit of content and then scores and we've now got 5 or 6 podcasts. We're doing some D1 extra stuff and the ACC, SEC, a little bit of extra content for our subscribers. And so it's been a blast. We started this thing is to kind of create the one-stop shop for college baseball. Not to toot our own horn, but I kind of feel like we've done that. So we're always looking to get better. There's always things that we can do better and things we can clean up and things like that. But it's like living a dream as a job. So. It's one of those things I'm very, very seldom stressed out.
When peak events came to you, and we'll pick this thought up after the break as Parker Knoll goes down swinging. Ethan Kleinschmidt with his 7th K of the day. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning. Golden Gophers up on Oregon State by a 2-1 count.
Face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what.
Brown Distributing Company, proud to be a part of the Round Rock Classic, responsible for making sure Karbach Brewing Company products are available to every fan who wants one here inside Dell Diamond. Chris Mykowski and Mike Harge in Round Rock, Texas. Hey, that's Larry Little getting some TV time, deciding to
former Baylor SID legend Larry Little over here.
He knew that this was the time to come on camera, so he decided this would be when he would join.
I've known Larry for a very long time.
He's Mike Harge. He's Kendall Rogers. I'm Chris Mykowski. Thanks for joining us here on D1Baseball.com. This weekend and next weekend, the exclusive home for peak events tournaments. We've been doing this for a few years now, and at the time when it was brand new, what was your thought on adding live game streaming to the site? It can be a wild new world.
It is a wild new world. I do some things now, like on Friday, I'm sitting on a phone call with somebody in Canada about servers and things like that. I'm doing things I never thought I'd do, but it's been a lot of fun. If we're not doing these games, they're not being broadcast anywhere. So we feel like we're doing a really good service for college baseball fans. Obviously, like I was just saying, like our regular content, there's some things we can do to get a little bit better here and there. But overall, it's been a really awesome partnership. Ryan and Nathan, Philip and that entire crew, they did an awesome job at all these different tournaments. It's not easy, guys, when you come here and the weather's not great. It's not easy to make this an awesome experience. And coaches, when I talk to them when they leave here, they're like, oh, we had an awesome experience. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, dude, it was 38 degrees for 3 days. It's like, no, they were awesome. They took care of us. So that's a great partnership. And, of course, Scott and the L2 crew on the production side, they've done a phenomenal job as well.
Well, you say they wouldn't be anywhere. We'd find a home for them somewhere.
Yeah, true.
I've been on play-by-play for Peak Events tournaments since the beginning in Frisco, and I have to make sure I say the right network in and out of breaks because we flipped between, I think, 4 or 5 different platforms. But this has been the most fun just because D1 baseball makes this a priority, and the partnership, the brand, it all just makes too much sense.
No, it really does, man. Yeah, I just love going to all these different tournaments, and the coaches really appreciate it. That's the main thing. It is, we talk to these coaches, and they're like, man, we love the fact that the D1 brand is attached to this. Jay Johnson, LSU, I mean, every time I talk to him, it's like, hey, what can we do for you? What can we do for D1? What can we do for Peak? And so what that tells me is that at least in our sport, we're doing something right.
I think that's right on your end. That's absolutely the fact for Peak Events.
Yeah.
And what Ryan Holloway, Nathan Wooldridge, Philip Valoria, that entire team do for college baseball. We're already getting pumped about next weekend in Frisco. Harji and I will be there.
Yeah, a little bit of purple and gold in the house in Frisco for those.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's almost sold out already. Swing and a miss by Easton Talt. The first time he has struck out today. He's the 5th victim overall for Thor Stinson.
Let me ask you this, Kendall, because, you've talked about a lot of these different teams. You get to go to a lot of these different ballparks, but you also got to deal with a ton of fan base. I know we poke fun at you because of the fact of everybody that always thinks you hate their team every single year. Game 2, God, I can't believe you didn't talk about us. We won 5-0, certain things. But the experience that you guys give to these fans, the ability to talk and interact with them is something that they want. That's why they feel like, okay, I know Kendall's not really like that, but let's just jab at him a little bit. And your staff does a great job of creating that content, no matter if it's a big story or a little story.
Yeah, I tell you what, the one thing for us is, people always ask me, when I'm even away from the internet, like, hey, I notice you respond to all these fans that are going after you. Like, why do you even, bother with that? And I always say, hey, you know what, if I have a paying subscriber, I've got a fan that wants my opinion on something, they don't like it, I kind of feel like if I can't answer their question, that's on me. That's me doing my job wrong. So I kind of have a lot of fun with it and respond to it because, sometimes you kind of need somebody to question your knowledge or what you know about the sport. So I love it, man. It just shows that people are passionate, and certainly OSU fans are at near the top of that list.
A lot of times it's about the game, it's about the players. Sometimes it's credit card processing issues.
Oh, boy, it's going to give me some nightmares there.
1-0 the count to Cannon Reeder, 9-hole hitter for Oregon State. And again, Frisco and Las Vegas coming up next weekend. Those tournaments also available exclusively on D1Baseball.com. A lot of people who live right around here in Round Rock, Texas Longhorns fans, they're heading up to Vegas next weekend, and that'll be great to see the rivalry between Texas and Texas Tech.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that the only time they would meet in 2025 would be in Las Vegas.
Yeah, how about that?
Brave
I'm a little concerned that guys like my boy, the occupied left field guys, are going to
Mark
Vegas.
Pena.
I'm a little concerned about Pena going to Vegas next weekend. Might need to get a bodyguard for that.
Exactly.
Missing inside to Reeder. And there's a look at Jacksonville. This one
Alabama came back.
Closing out as Bama scored 4 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th.
Weren't they down 10-0?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yep. It was 10-0 as Ohio State scored 3 in the 3rd and 7 in the 4th. You're up 10-0 through 3.5 and lose 12-10.
Justin here will not be happy about that one. We were just talking off the air a minute ago, just looking at this game real quick. We were talking off the air a second ago just about how, the stuff has not been great here the last couple innings. I mean, he's gotten some outs, but the stuff hasn't been great. We've been kind of waiting on the Beavers to kind of pounce a little bit, and you kind of wonder if maybe this is the moment. So I really like this pitching, kind of pitching conference and potential pitching change here.
Well, that's one of the things, too, for me. I keep looking at these guys and trying to figure out what is it about Minnesota that can help them get over the hump. You've been in all these battles. You've been in the middle of a game. You've had great plays against you. You've had some great plays, and it just kind of changed the momentum for them.
No, there's no doubt. I just think when you look at the play and left and just the homer that's kind of gotten them going. But I tell you what, Oregon State's lineup, we talked about how dangerous that lineup is. Sitting at one run, there is a run in this team at some point in this game. You kind of wonder if this might be it.
Are you going to Frisco next week?
Aaron Fitt will be in Frisco for that one, so he gets to hang out with all the LSU fans.
Plus, Marge and I will be there. Ben
That's
McDonald joining our broadcast team next weekend.
Ben's an absolute treat.
Yes, he is.
He is. LSU people love him. Heck, I love him.
He was here 2 years ago on our initial D1 baseball live stream when LSU won the Round Rock Classic and returns to our group next week.
We got Coach Farron and Mike Rooney, Coach Mike Rooney in Vegas. I mean, talk about a duo.
Oh, my gosh.
They're perfect.
I'm worried about those guys in Vegas. You talking about Pena, I could probably let field. I need to be worried about those two.
Yeah, with those guys, it's going to be like comedy hour all in Vegas.
Well, you and I know how much they're getting in their game checks and their per diem. So the question is, at the end of the weekend, do they leave at least up by a few dollars, or do they? But there's not a ton.
Up by a few dollars. No pun intended.
There's not a ton of time to head to the casino during the tournament.
Yeah.
It's 2 games. It's back to bed and do it over again 2 more times. We're pretty much spending our time here, and I can't imagine they have a whole lot of time to spend at tables.
What's really interesting is looking at Oregon State real quick. We talk about travel to these tournaments and things like that, but think about just the strain on these players with their schedule this year. They play 65% of their 70% of their home or their games on the road. They're actually going back to Corvallis tonight and then going back up to Arlington next weekend. So I mean that's pretty tough. I'll just be interested to see if this team. I mean, they're young, so they'll be fine. But I'm just saying, late in the season, how will the travel affect them a little bit late in the year?
And Coach Canham, in addressing that, said that it wasn't too hard. It was actually pretty enjoyable to make all those calls, put together a schedule. There weren't a ton of people,
old school.
And there weren't a ton of people that said no to him.
Yeah,
they want that competition, even if it comes during a bye week during conference play.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, if I'm a coach and I want to see where my team's at, I'm playing Oregon State. And the other thing too, a lot of people have asked us, like, hey, with this new world, like, where do you see Oregon State baseball? I don't think they're going anywhere. Mitch is an awesome coach. You still have Pat Casey heavily involved in fundraising for the baseball program. He certainly knows what it takes to win in Corvallis. And again, we talk about the fans, the commitment financially they have to that baseball program. I mean, I'm just a firm believer that OSU is not going anywhere.
I'm with you on that because this team is built for a long haul, and they're going to continue to get good players.
This is Caden Capomaccio, the new pitcher for Minnesota. I think the biggest sign when you talk about this team not going anywhere is that none of these big names left in the offseason through the portal. Despite
they just added
the fact,
one.
Right.
Yes. They added Ivan Arquette. So.
And that's despite the fact that they were going to play an independent schedule. There would not be an automatic bid available to this team. Still, they saw the availability of the staff, the resources, and knew that this was the best chance they had to grow as players and men and move on to the next level.
There's no doubt. That's a testament to that program. And also, I mean, I'm one of those people. There you go.
Back through the middle by Caraway.
Here it comes.
2 on, 2 out for the Beavers.
Maybe I'm their good luck charm.
Maybe.
The thing, I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. I mean, I get that the way some of these conference contracts go, but, man, if I'm like the Big 12, like even if I don't want Oregon State in football or at this point I can't take them in football, Like, man, sign me up for their baseball program.
Absolutely.
Like, the fact that their baseball program hasn't got snagged by a major conference, at least for baseball, is mind-blowing because, I mean, they have so much to offer.
And the talent, week in, week out, every time you look at them, they're going to put up some numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Have you filed anything like a Freedom of Information request to see if those kind of conversations have been going on?
I do. Typically, it comes with a lot of black ink. I have Arquette at the plate here. This is a very big moment, given just the weekend and the power he's put into the ball throughout these last couple of games.
Last time he came up, delivered the most electric sacrifice fly you're going to see. Drew Birkland was able to make the play of the weekend, maybe the play of the year in left.
Him or Kyle Branch.
Oh, man. I'm all about Kyle Branch. That kid just seems to be built for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
2-0 pitch coming to Arquette.
He does not want to pitch dive Arquette. I don't think I blame him.
I was fixing to say, are you shocked by that?
Load the bases for me, please. I'd rather not face him. But guess what? Gavin Turley, in that lineup, I mean, he's pretty good too.
Well, he's shown me the ability to hit the ball the other way, especially with the way that they play shifts, and him being able to find those holes on the opposite side has been very impressive.
Put one in the zone.
There you go.
3-1 the count to Arquette.
I'd be very careful here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to turn him loose on 3-0.
3-1, 2 out, and 2 on for the Beavers. They trail by 1. Swing and a miss, and the count now full.
Wow, that ball, the bottom dropped out of that one.
Yeah.
89-mile-per-hour sinker in from Capomaccio. He's one pitch away from retiring Arquette and getting out of the inning. Capomaccio delivers and gets Arquette. Big K from the Minnesota reliever, leaving 2 runners aboard for the Beavers.
Right in the middle.
Wow.
Caden Capomaccio coming through in the clutch in relief. Kendall Rogers, thanks for everything, not just for joining us here, but for the commitment that D1 baseball makes to this great sport.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, too. I mean, it's a lot of hours to be up here doing this stuff, especially when you're freezing here the last few days. So have fun next weekend at Frisco. Enjoy the LSU fans, and enjoy Interfit. Keep them out of trouble.
Appreciate it.
We'll do that.
Ran up by the Lux when that's up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could die better. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
You're just joined by Kendall Rogers from D1Baseball.com. Thanks to him for his presence and for all the knowledge. You can continue to read his great stuff here on D1Baseball.com, the exclusive home of live streaming for the Round Rock Classic, as well as the Jax Classic, Las Vegas Classic, and Frisco Classic. The subscription that you purchased to watch today will allow you to continue enjoying next weekend. So be sure to rejoin us then. Kellen Oakes, the new pitcher for Oregon State, a junior righty out of Canby, Oregon. Transfer from Lynn Benton Community College. Takes the place of Ethan Kleinschmidt. He'll face Easton Richter, Weber Niels, and Jake Elbery. Second appearance of the season. As he entered on Monday against Xavier. Gave the Beavers 4 innings, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits, striking out 4 Musketeers and walking 3. Enters with his Beavers trailing 2-1 to Minnesota. Walks the first batter he sees. Richter heading down to first base.
You know, we were talking about the momentum and how pressure moments come about. And what we saw from the last time was Minnesota getting out of a potential jam to come back in. And now you get your leadoff guy on. And so hopefully they can get a little momentum going right here to create some separation between them and the Beavers.
Weber Niels struck out looking in the first, flied out to center in the 4th. Check back to first base. Richter slides in safely. If Minnesota holds on to win this game, then our next matchup between Virginia and Oklahoma will be a true championship. Winner take all. Weber Niels strikes out. First victim for Oaks, the new Oregon State pitcher.
Big swing. Slider came out there, looking fastball, and came up a little bit short. Elbery's had a good weekend at the plate. Been able to get on base and take some good swings.
Yeah, not a ton of offensive highlights for Minnesota. But Elbery has been the shining star. .429 batting average through the first 2 days. And that's up now after going 1 for 2 so far today. Singled in the 4th and came around to score the Gophers' first run. That was thanks to Drew Berkland's homer. Berkland right behind him to make the score 2-1, exactly where we stand right now. So again, a lot of baseball left to be played in this one, but if the score holds and the Gophers win, both of these teams would be 1-2 on the weekend. Next game, it's Oklahoma, who's 2-0, and Virginia, who's 1-1. Oklahoma wins. They are 3-0, undefeated champions on the weekend. A Virginia victory would make the Cavaliers 2-1. It would also make the Sooners 2-1. So head-to-head tiebreaker goes to UVA. Always fun to go into the last game knowing that it's a winner-take-all situation. And, yeah, Richter just barely beat it back.
Well, the thing about it is I'm watching him at first base, and I'm trying to figure out.
Hot shot, one hopper to Caraway. He can't find the handle. Everybody's safe. Second error of the day for Caraway.
And that ball was hit sharply right at him. And it was one of those plays that, as a fielder, you never want the ball hit directly at you. You want to be able to move from left to right and try to field it, because those hot shots right at you get you kind of nervous a little bit. But yes, you're right. You start looking at some of the situations where they are trying to make some things happen. Can't be jumping around on the bases.
Richter at second, Elbery at first, and Drew Berkland at the plate. Last time he stepped up, unleashed a 2-run homer to give the Gophers the lead. This was in the top of the 4th inning. When Birkeland sent this one just barely inside the pole. Oh, 2 pitch rocketed to center field. A one-hopper in front of Reeder. Not enough to allow Richter to come home. Bases are loaded.
That is an absolute rocket to center field. Fastball that it was supposed to be a sinker that was left up. And Birkeland shot it into center field on a line. Hit it too hard. And that's why there was not a run driven in for Richter. Was scored by Richter.
Minnesota trying to break this game open. Gophers lead by 1. Have the bases loaded for Chris Hokanson. First pitch comes in at 93. Sophomore out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota, Chris Hokanson, his biggest at bat of the season, facing a top 10 opponent. This would be a signature win for the Golden Gophers. One. Got him with a slider. Caught the outside corner. The 1-2 to Hokanson. Missing away. Two the count, bases full of Gophers. Where did that miss, Harji? Just barely low. Robot ump agrees. Oregon State fans are up in arms. But that just barely missed the zone low. Full count, 1 out, bases full. Hokanson swings and misses at the 84-mile-per-hour slider.
We talk about those moments situationally where you got a chance to bust this game open. Get a breaking ball slider that stayed up. Looked like a good pitch and something that you could have been able to drive and come up short.
Now it's Josh Fitzgerald's turn. First pitch to him. In there, he continues to work the slider.
It's a great pitch. And it seems to be the pitch that he likes the most.
Fitzgerald with a leadoff home run on Friday against Oklahoma. His first of the season. His only run batted in of the year so far. He'll have some more. At least 1, and now it'll be 2. Richter scores. Elbery right behind him. Josh Fitzgerald delivers a 2-run single to put the Gophers up 4-1.
As we talked about before, they needed that right there. Just finding ways to keep this party going and being able to drive in runs. Big-time play right there. That big-time at bat for Fitzgerald. And they moved him down in the lineup. He was the leadoff guy. Now they moved him down for these situations right here.
Hit first on Friday and Saturday, hitting 7th today, and records his 2nd and 3rd runs batted in on the season. Gophers lead 4-1, trying to hand the Beavers their 2nd consecutive loss after Oregon State won their first 5 games this year. A huddle before Jamison Martin steps in. Martin grounded out to first in the 3rd inning, then laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th. Two men on, 2 outs. Drew Birkeland moved up to 2nd on Fitzgerald's 2-run single. Kellen Oakes entered as a relief pitcher in this half inning. And we'll already get a visit to the mound from Mitch Canham. First time this weekend, Hargy, we've been able to see numbers on the backs of these coaches. They've been layered up like we have down on the field.
Yeah, it's a nice look where you can be out here. I was just looking around and checking out. In some of the shaded areas, people are still kind of bundled up. But out towards the field where the players are, a lot of folks are in there having a good time and actually being able to see the sun for the first time this week. But I was watching the infielders as, you know, each pitch comes about. And obviously you want to look at sometimes probably trying to do a pickoff. For me right now, I don't think we even need to look at the pickoff. Let's try to figure out how we can get an out right here and get back in the dugout and put our offense on attack.
Visit complete. Coach Canham back in the dugout. One-0 pitch coming to Martin. Fouled off into the Oregon State dugout. Got to keep your head on a swivel down there. A ball and a strike with 2 out. 2 men on for the Gophers. Minnesota has scored 2 in this half inning to increase the lead to 4-1.
Fitzgerald is just a hard-nosed player. You know, you talked about the home run early, but then you get a chance.
Woo. Hits this one high and deep. Home run into the upper deck. Jamison Martin unleashes a bomb for his first home run of the year. A 3-run shot.
Bang, bang. He hit that thing. You talked about it. I was off of the home run porch in left field, and when he got it, he knew he got it.
7-1. Minnesota over the 7th-ranked team in the country, Oregon State.
He got a hanger, and he banged it up off of that home run porch. I've seen a lot of games here throughout my time living in this area. That one was a no-doubter.
Where does it measure up with some of the best blasts you've seen from AAA baseball?
That's right there. Golly, and it was loud, too. Big swing by Martin.
Our live hit data is busted up here. I really want to know a distance, though. How about the freshman? First homer in a Minnesota uniform on this huge stage.
Man, that was deep.
Seven to 1 Golden Gophers. Four runs in total for Minnesota in the first 2 days of the Classic, and 7 here on Sunday. Big swing and a miss from Spanier. Count is full. Spanier is 0 for 2. Full count as Oaks looks to end the inning and head back to the dugout. Can't do it. Spanier on board.
The energy in that dugout for Minnesota went up an extra level after, just like that home run went up an extra level as well. You can see these guys have been battling through it the entire weekend, just trying to find that spark, that moment in the game that they can feel good about things. And that was one of those moments right there. You go back to the previous inning with the strikeout to be able to get out of the inning, and then you get this right here. That was crucial for those guys.
Top of the order for the Gophers, and Parker Knoll 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts today. Well outside. One-two pitch into right in front of Talt. Minnesota keeps rolling in the 6th. They have batted all the way around now.
Good piece of hitting. Fastball in. Just took his hands to the baseball, hit the ball the opposite field. I love those facts. Love it. Start to see guys hit the ball the other way.
Simultaneous peak events tournaments happening this weekend, both here in Round Rock, Texas, and in Jacksonville, Florida. Alabama beating Ohio State in the first game of the day at VyStar Ballpark, the home of the Jumbo Shrimp. Buckeyes were up 10-0. And then Alabama climbs all the way back to win 12-10. Bottom of the 9th inning, a 3-run homer by Will Hodo to give the Crimson Tide the victory. Coming up shortly, it'll be NC State and Coastal Carolina in the finale of the Jacks Classic. Here in Round Rock, it'll be Virginia and Oklahoma in Game 6. 70 minutes after this one is over, or 4 o'clock Central Time, if this one ends sooner than 70 minutes prior to that.
Sooners are already in the house.
Yeah, they were sitting underneath that home run porch and watched Martin's home run sail over their heads. Visit coming out to Kellen Oaks as the Gophers still threatening in the 6th, having already scored 5. Oregon State will have to make another change. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. as Zach Kometz will make the trek in from that bullpen beyond the left field wall. You're watching the Round Rock College Baseball Classic on D1Baseball.com. Jamison Martin, the latest student athlete to unleash one over the wall. Onto the porch. You'll see the Sooners sitting beneath it, watching it sail over. The Gophers up big in Central Texas. Zach Kometz, the new pitcher for the Beavers, making his second appearance of the season. He went 1 2/3 against Xavier on Monday, allowing 3 runs, 2 earned, and 4 hits. Struck out 1 Musketeer and did not walk any, throwing 22 pitches in that 18-6 win for Oregon State. Another freshman after we saw the rookie Jamison Martin for Minnesota with the deepest home run of the weekend. These early season tournaments, Harji, we've seen it over the years. The performances from freshmen are always so remarkable because a lot of them come in flying under the radar and really make their presence felt in big events like this.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to make a name for yourself and show the coaching staff that they made the right decision by trusting in you to get these opportunities. We've seen it from a lot of the freshmen. We've seen it from those first-year guys that have transferred in. They're getting opportunities.
First pitch swinging for Richter, fighting the sun. Reeder snow cones it and finally ends the inning. Minnesota scores 5 in the 6th and increases the Gophers' lead to 7-1. Oregon State looking to fight back with the heart of the order. It'll be Turley, Peterson, and Craig. Round Rock Classic is presented by Karbach Brewing Company. Crafted for fun. Please drink responsibly. I'm Chris Mikoski alongside Mike Harge. And welcome to the tournament. the Minnesota Golden Gopher offense.
Finally, right? They've been waiting for that breakout. And they finally had a bust-out inning and really, really embraced that 6th inning where they had 5 runs on a big, big 3-run home run by the freshman Jamison Martin.
First blast as a collegiate student athlete, and it comes against a top 10 opponent. As Oregon State now in danger of going 1-2 on the weekend.
Oregon State left fielder number 1, Gavin Turley.
Seth Clausen, the new pitcher for Minnesota, as Capomaccio came in and got his job done in relief. Gives way to the senior righty out of Bettendorf, Iowa, making his 2nd appearance of the season.
The big key here is to go in there and get outs. You've got a 6-run lead, and you want to make sure you start chipping away and getting these outs.
1-0 pitch. Oregon State will head back home for the first time since the middle of last week after this one's over. They played 4 games in Surprise, Arizona to begin the season. High fly to right. Fitzgerald coming on next to the wall, able to make the catch in foul territory. That's a tough area to navigate at this field.
Yeah, Fitzgerald's been out there making great plays all weekend. You know, it gets real tight once you get close to the line, but he was able to make the play.
Lisa Tice Peterson. Beavers faced Xavier twice, plus UNLV and Indiana in Surprise. Then straight from Arizona, Central Texas, where the Beavers planned to face Houston on Wednesday here at Dell Diamond in a midweek affair, but that one was called off due to weather. Had to wait until Friday to play another game. A lot of time just sitting around the hotel. Coach Canham told us that he was a little bit worried about the energy and the response after sitting around for so many days without a game to play. But nobody among his team was complaining. They emphasized you control what you can control. You can't worry about the weather. You can't worry about cancellations. Just about how you prepare and you execute. That one well up in the sky and falls fair. Wow, Martin just had no idea where that was. Neither did Spanier.
Yeah, and it was interesting, too, because I was watching middle infielder and a third baseman, this high sky, something we had talked about earlier. But the other part of it was I'm looking at Oregon State, and this is an opportunity right here. Both of these coaches are looking at it and trying to figure out why he was not standing on second base. You got to go hard out of the batter's box, and I watched both of the coaches, third base coach and the first base coach, look like, why are we not on standing on 2?
Here's Jacob Craig now. And I know most subscribers to D1 Baseball are incredibly knowledgeable about the game. So I don't have to explain this necessarily to them, but maybe there are a few newbies who purchase subscriptions. But that's a hit for Peterson That's not an error on Martin or Spanier or anybody else. Nobody touched it. Simple base hit.
Looks like a line drive in the book.
Our official scorekeeper this weekend is Larry Little, and sometimes he is incredibly descriptive in the book, but he just says single to third on that one.
One of the things,
he spent a lot of time with you, by the way, on camera. I think he was trying to milk his time, but he seemed like he had something really important to tell you.
Yeah, he was definitely giving me some knowledge on both of the pitchers, the starters today. They had worked guys to 0-2 counts, and at one point he had faced 15 batters to get to 0-2. 7 of the 15 were at 0-2, but he only had one extra strikeout. And that was Thornsteinson. And then you look at the other pitcher, and he had 6 batters that he got to 0-2, and he struck out 5 of those guys. So the contrast was huge. But yes, he did milk that. And rightfully so.
Well, he walked in at the very last second. We're getting the countdown our ear on camera in 3, 2, and then Larry opens the door. I was like, I have no ability now to tell you to go away.
I'm here, guys. I'm here.
We need that big red light, the warning. Don't open the door. Closing the door on Jacob Craig. Second out of the inning.
Needless to say, on that 88-mile-an-hour cutter with a big swing and a miss by Craig. Clausen's been running it up there up to 97 miles per hour. Good life on his fastball.
Here's Wilson Weber. Taking something off of that one, a cutter at 89. Peterson, modest lead off of first base. 0-1 pitch. Missing inside. That one coming in at 95 and getting the count to 1-2.
Yeah, he's got good life to that fastball. Good arm motion, straight downhill, letting it fly.
Clausen, the senior, gets Weber looking. A pair of strikeouts to end the inning. Oregon State leaves Peterson stranded at first base after his gift single. We're through 6 complete. Minnesota thinking upset this afternoon in Round Rock.
Ran up by the Lux when that's up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouths were full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Walk in New Orleans with the etiquette of LA yelling. Second bad, but somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it.
Taco face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what.
Round Rock Classic is presented by Peak Events, home of the best outside of Omaha. Use that hashtag whenever you're talking about the Round Rock Classic on social media and follow peak.events. That's Peak, D-O-T, events on every social media platform. It'll be Weber Niels, Jake Elbery, and Drew Birkland due to the plate for Minnesota. You see their flag on the right side of your screen, along with the Big Ten flag. Not a lot of winds. They're fairly limp right now. You've got Oklahoma in the SEC, Virginia in the ACC, and then Oregon State, who is playing an independent schedule. So instead of the Pac-12 flag, you've got a flag with the letters GDI. They are gosh darn independents this season. In a couple of years, the Pac-12 will be resurrected. Oregon State and Washington State still holding on to the assets of the Pac-12. This one going into shallow right field. A.J. Singer on to make it. So in time for the 2026-27 academic year and the 2027 baseball season, the Pac-12 will resume play. Now, several of the members of the conference who are joining don't have baseball. So that's why you'll see an X over their logo. Boise State did have it. The program was restarted. We'll take a look at that after this line out by Elbery. Boise State restarted baseball in 2020 and then shut the program down again. No baseball at Colorado State or Utah State. So it's Fresno State, Gonzaga, San Diego State, and Washington State, in addition to Oregon State, baseball playing members. They need to add at least one more. Have to have 6 at minimum to be eligible for an automatic bid. There's talk about a couple of teams from Central Texas potentially in Texas State and or UT San Antonio.
Yep.
But the biggest names, the biggest fish that the Pac-12 is hoping to catch, Memphis and Tulane. It's all conjecture. You're not in those rooms. Long throw across the diamond from Caraway to Craig for the 3rd out of the inning, and the Oregon State defense with a 1-2-3 frame. It's stretch time now, only appropriate after that effort from Craig at first. The Beavers will send up Easton Talt, A.J. Singer, and Cannon Reed, bottom of the order in Round Rock.
Taco face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what.
Seventh stretch time in Round Rock, Texas. It's not just take me out to the ball game here at Dell Diamond. It's also deep in the heart of Texas. These Beaver fans and Gopher fans are starting to catch on Wind Clap.
Well, because they're deep in the heart of Texas. They better figure it out real quickly.
I'm Chris Mykowski. Mike Harge is alongside. Minnesota only scored 4 runs in total in the first 2 days of the Round Rock Classic. They have played at 7 in this contest. And they lead the nation's 7th-ranked Oregon State Beavers by 6 runs. It'll be Talt, Singer, and Reeder. Is seeing high and inside, forcing Talt to get out of the way. Seth Clausen continuing his work. Came in the 6th. Should have had a 1-2-3 inning, but the high sky allowing Peterson to reach.
Yeah, that's tough, though. You know, I don't know if any of these guys brought glasses, brought their shades with them. I don't see any of them on.
Into center. He's got his.
Yep, he does.
Parker Knoll is well equipped. Let's take a quick scan. All the outfielders have their sunglasses. Jake Elbery at first. Easton Richter at second does.
I think they all have them now.
Max Spanier does. And yes, now Jamison Martin does.
They made the adjustment.
How many of them did? We need to go back and review the film on how many had them in the last half inning.
Don't believe there was any.
Oh, 1 pitch missing away.
Fans are getting fired up. They're getting restless. Restless. They're not liking the balls and strike calls.
Well, that's been the case all weekend. Shift was on against Singer. He's put out at first. And Cannon Reeder will step in, looking to extend the inning for Oregon State, who is running out of time. Bottom of the 7th, trailing by 6.
Look at this crowd. This is outstanding.
Yeah, it's starting to look like we normally does, if not slightly below average here in Round Rock, only because fans may have seen the weekend forecast, thinking about coming in from out of town, like, it doesn't look too good until Sunday. I think I'm going to stay home and watch on D1Baseball.com.
And we're thankful that you are. Thank you.
But perhaps some more local Oregon State alums just waited until Sunday to come out. Same for some former Gophers that live here in the Austin area. Saw the sun was going to break through. I don't have to wear 5 layers of clothing. Looks like a good day to head out to the yard.
Beautiful day to be at the yard. It's that time during baseball season where you would think that during the springtime you'd be out a lot more. This upcoming week in the state of Texas is going to be beautiful, especially here in Central Texas, as you were speaking of.
Swing and a miss by Reeder. Full count now to him. at 63 degrees right now. And game one on Friday at first pitch, it was 36. Just reverse those numbers. Went from 36 to 63. I like this much better. Walk by Reeder, and Oregon State will return to the top of the order for Trent Caraway, who has a pair of singles in his last two at-bats.
In that last at-bat, he hit a rocket up the middle. Probably his best at-bat of the weekend, from which he actually got good barrel to the baseball. Nice swing plane, and drove it right back up the middle.
Now, 6 runs is a lot, but if Oregon State is able to pull within 4, we talked about this yesterday, that just feels so much more manageable because it could lead to being just one swing away from tying the ball game.
Absolutely. And that's the thought process. You know, you sit there and you try to chip away one quality at bat after another quality at bat, bringing the next guy up to the plate, and the next thing you know, boom, you're right back in the ball game. All the Oregon State fans are trying to find that sun, that little ray on the right side. It's a little more shaded, a little cooler in the shade. Trying to move down as far as you can to be in part of the sun, get some of that heat.
You go up the line either way, and you're avoiding the shadows from press box and luxury suites. You're getting sunbathed at that point.
Looks like it's a little too hot for some.
Harji and I don't get to work on our tans.
I don't even think we will be able to next weekend either because of the way that the field is set up. It's not in our face near as much.
1-0 pitch. Caraway to left. Gets down, and here comes Reeder. Oregon State will plate one. Beavers hoping this begins a rally. They now trail by 5.
I talked about it just a second ago. Caraway's last at bat, he got a good pitch and hit it hard up the middle. And sometimes that's all you need to get yourself going. Yes, he's had some other quality at bats, but that last at bat before this double is what I think is what got him going again.
Reeder scores on a Caraway double down the left field line. The always dangerous Iva Arquette now goes opposite field towards the berm and onto it. Iva Arquette unloads a Caraway double followed by an Arquette blast, and the Beavers are within 3.
Mama, there goes that man again. Got a pitch he can handle. We've been looking at that cutter. He stayed on it and drove it to right field once again. He had a home run to right field last night, and now we get a chance to see it again. Stay behind the baseball, drive it through the other way.
369 feet clearing the wall in right. Second home run in as many days for Iva Arquette, and his 3rd of the season. First pitch swinging for Gavin Turley towards the Minnesota bullpen, and right in front of it, Josh Fitzgerald watches it go into his glove. The Beavers get 3 in the 7th as Iva Arquette knocks his 3rd home run of the season over the wall. Oregon State has life in Round Rock, Texas. The Gophers' lead is 7-4.
Taco face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what. Taco face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what.
D1Baseball.com, the exclusive home of the 4 Peak Events tournaments. This is the only place you'll find these games streaming. Round Rock Classic and Jax Classic this weekend. And then next weekend, the Frisco Classic and the Las Vegas Classic. The finale of the Jax Classic is underway. North Carolina State and Coastal Carolina. Wolfpack up 1-0 as they play in the bottom. Ballpark, Darren Vaught, Jack DeLongchamp on the call. And they've had a lot more sun than we've had. Now, you have to take the good with the bad. I think we had the better field of teams, right?
Yep. No doubt about that.
They have better weather.
Which one would you want?
Well, considering we have to sit inside, yeah, we have open air, so it's chilly. Biggest thing for me is being able to get home as soon as possible. I'm 4 hours from my front door right now. And if I say I want to go to Florida and be able to get home tonight,
right,
my wife is like, what? I need you back here.
Good point. Good point. But I'm definitely here all day, every day because of the fact of nothing against those teams that are in Jacksonville, but the baseball that we've been able to call, the 3 teams that have actually shown up, we're learning a lot about Minnesota and the fight that they have and the ability to go out there and compete every single day. Yeah, I'm glad to be right here in Round Rock, Texas.
Well, after this game, now we can say all 4 really showed us something.
Absolutely.
Going into the day, yeah, like we didn't really get a good look at the Gophers, but they have really been able to put some great offense together today. And up until this last half inning, we're solid on the defensive side as well. As Minnesota will make a change here and lift Chris Hokanson. James DeCremer.
Ooh.
Get his hacks.
Literally get his hacks. He was in there going for it right there.
Excuse me, James DeCremer on the mound for Oregon State. Flip these around here. Apologies. That's Sutherland batting for Minnesota. You watch enough ball this weekend, your eyes are starting to get crossed. James DeCremer on the bump for Oregon State. Sutherland hitting for the Golden Gophers.
Big rip, too.
Got him. 2-2 pitch was a 92-mile-per-hour sinker that Sutherland couldn't catch up with.
Good juice right there on that fastball. And you're right, he could not catch up to it. So I got Fitzgerald at the play. Ooh!
First pitch swinging to deep left field and gone in front of an Oklahoma Sooner waiting to play the next game. Second home run of the weekend for Fitzgerald. He led off with a homer against OU on Friday. Now a bomb against Oregon State on Sunday.
Big swing, good contact, and he knew it right away, as did I. Let me just tell you this. This young man has shown up this weekend. He's going to love playing in Round Rock. If they ask him where he wants to play, it's going to be Round Rock, Texas.
Martin showing bunt as Caraway was playing way deep at third. Thought about taking advantage of it. Minnesota extends its lead to 8-4.
Needed to give an answer after that big inning from the Beavers. The Gophers come back and get one of them back on a big swing by Fitzgerald. He's played great defense.
DeCremer doesn't get the call. Missing high. The robot ump agrees. Redshirt freshman out of Scottsdale, Arizona, making his second appearance of the season. Little nubber. It'll be the catcher, Weber, trying to play. Throws one on a line to Craig.
He popped up out of that crouch and came out and threw an absolute dart to first base. Look at him get out there, calls the pitcher off, and throws an absolute peel to him over there.
2 out. Told DeCremer to get out of the way. Bottom of the order for Minnesota. Jack Spanier is 0 for 2. Spanier yesterday, you'll remember, tried to bunt for a hit. Home plate umpire ruled it dead. Said that it hit him in the box. On our replay, it was clear that that was not the case. That is not reviewable. That wasn't the biggest issue, though, for Ty McDevitt. It was more that Spanier was frustrated by that call and that he wasted the rest of the AB. 1-2, didn't waste this one. Base hit to left.
Another base knock by Spanier. Being able to get in there, and to your point, you know, sometimes those situations, again, this was a team that's trying to get things going, and you think you get a good bunt down to be able to spark some life into your squad, and then those types of things happen. But yes, you got to be able to clear the slate and get right back in there.
You said it was a teaching moment, that Spanier is going to be one of the Golden Gophers' top players all year long, but there is going to be adversity. So when that happens, you still need to be locked in for the next pitch.
Absolutely.
Top of the order for the Golden Gophers and Parker Knoll. James DeCremer coming with a 1-0. Catches the outside corner. Four-seam fastball at 89. Runner going on the 1-1 pitch. Into center field, coming on. It bounces in front of Reeder. Spanier to third. Knoll at first. Runners on the corners for Easton Richter.
Knoll's had a good day today. A little motion on the base path, get base hit to center field. Now you got to put some pressure on him. They have to come out and decide if they're going to try to throw the guy out, hold the ball. There's a lot that goes into this, and there's still going to be a hole in between first and second for Richter if he can get the barrel out in front and find that hole and get a base knock.
Richter is 0 for 3.
They're playing rather deep for a guy that can run like Noel. Don't know if they're going to be able to get to the bag in time.
Middle infielders on the grass, while Caraway at third is creeping closer. I should specify the middle infielders out beyond the dirt.
Right.
In the outfield grass, while Caraway is creeping in towards the infield grass. 1-1. Noel takes second without a throw. Stolen base credited to him. Two out, runners on second and third for Richter. And we'll have to wait to see what he does in this situation. His team leading by 4. First, a visit to the mound.
He's going to discuss the situation because I think they, like I was saying, it just looked like they were playing so deep in there, like they weren't even going to give themselves a chance. And then he was slow to the plate. So a lot had to do with that as far as the setup, which was why there was no throw at all to second base.
Mitch Canham yesterday, head coach of Oregon State, saying that Beavers were not playing their best baseball. They were walking a lot of guys. Not going to win games when you're not pummeling the zone. Now, he did reference Wyatt Queen and brought him to that post-game press conference because of the way that he showed up and did fill up the zone. That he called Queen an animal yesterday and wanted to let him sit on that dais to represent the Beavers, to show his teammates this is what it needs to look like.
Yeah, he did a great job yesterday controlling the moment. Pitched well, did some great things out there. 2 1/3. Only gave up 2 hits, but he competed and struck out 5.
Now, it was that drive and that competitive nature. Into right field, it'll bounce in front of Talt, and the Gophers will add 2 more.
That's how you answer. That's how you answer right there.
Easton Richter with a 2-run single to right. It's 10-4 Minnesota.
You have to answer that because they came back. They scored 3 in the inning. And so their momentum, you talked about being close within 4. You feel like that's striking distance. But you come right back to answer and put it back up to 6. Great work, great at-bats by the Minnesota Gophers.
Beavers will make a change on the mound, trailing by 6. Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic from Dell Diamond, exclusively on D1Baseball.com. Oklahoma Sooners enjoying this one, getting some sun before their game this afternoon, scheduled for a 4 o'clock first pitch against these Virginia Cavaliers. It'll be later than 4 o'clock Central, though, as there needs to be at least 70 minutes between games, and we are 75 minutes away right now. I don't think we're going to be able to work through this last little bit here that quickly there, Harji.
Yeah, it's going to be a little quicker than we would have hoped. But, yeah, there's going to be some extension to it, but still fun to be out here and ready to watch some good baseball. Both of those teams have played well this weekend. The Sooners have done a great job of not only pitching, they finally got their offense to get going, and Virginia's been steady as they come.
Those two teams will be playing for the championship belts. New pitcher for Oregon State is Joey Munt, redshirt senior out of Houston, California, an all Pac-12 honorable mention selection a year ago. And with the first pitch, Richter able to make his way down to second.
Be aggressive. Comes in, you know your job is to throw a strike. So as a base runner, you try to get a good jump right away.
Second appearance of the year for Munt. Last saw him on opening day, an inning of hitless, scoreless baseball against Xavier. Only need to throw 12 pitches. A balk committed by Munt.
Must have missed that.
Take another look if we can at what caused that. We might not have time here as Munt is resetting and ready to go back to the plate. Big swing by Sam Hunt as he steps in for Weber Niels.
Doesn't look like he's coming set for a very long period of time, so that might have had something to do with it too.
Got him. Hunt goes down swinging in his pinch hit effort as Joey Munt comes in and gets the job done for Oregon State. But before he entered, Minnesota scored 3 runs and extended their advantage. It's Gophers 10, Beavers 4 in Round Rock. The Round Rock Classic is proud to support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Since day one of this tournament, the folks from Peak Events have sought to raise money for the CFF, and you can do your parts. Visit roundrockclassic.net, and you'll see a link to donate to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in the upper right-hand corner. Plus, if you look a little bit lower than that, you'll see the CFF silent auction where you can bid on experiences and memorabilia. Getaways to Barbados and Antigua. There's already been one trip to Antigua that was flat out purchased, Harji. There's a buy it now option, I believe, because that one just disappeared. We go from category 101 to 103. So 102 is gone.
I like it.
Somebody thought, hey, I'm not going to wait on the bidding process. I'm just going to give you a lot of money, and I'm going to go on this trip. You can also buy signed baseballs from any of the 4 teams in the Round Rock Classic. Let's look at these two teams. Oregon State's ball right now at $230.
Nice.
Yeah. And for Minnesota, it's a steal at $50. So just get on there, roundrockclassic.net, and click on the CFF auction. Register and put your bid in, all to benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. We'll continue to raise money for the CFF next weekend in Frisco and Las Vegas. RG and I will be in North Texas with LSU, Kansas State, Nebraska, and Sam Houston. Another loaded field. In Las Vegas, it'll be the Texas Longhorns, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the Illinois Fighting Illini, and the Washington Huskies. Closing out the Round Rock Classic. Day 3. This is game 5. One more to go. Oklahoma and Virginia. Tice Peterson fouls this one off over towards the Cavaliers.
I was like, is that one of our guys that's taking the ball from him? No, gave it to him. Okay. I was about to say.
You got to give it to the kid. There are some kids congregating up there. That is the hot spot for foul balls at Dell Diamond, right in front of the United Heritage Center.
Has been all weekend, does it all through the summer. If you ever at the ballpark and you're a kid, I'm going to give you the heads up. Stay by the United Heritage Center. You will get one.
2-1. In there for a strike to Peterson. He's 1 for 3. Got the gift single thanks to the high sky. In the 6th. Two into center. Oregon State trailing by 6. But they are not dead until that final out is recorded.
Peterson, back-to-back base hits in 2 plate appearances. Nice short compact, powerful swing. 106, back up the middle.
First pitch to Craig. Missing inside.
This is a guy that I'm waiting to see catch a ball out in front and really drive it. He looks the part, looks strong. I want to see him catch one because I really want to see how far he can hit one. Minnesota fans are like, no. They've pitched him well all weekend. Every team has given him a little bit of different look every time up. And hadn't had that opportunity as of yet to really stretch out on one.
Foul back.
He tried to answer my call, though.
Yep.
He tried to answer me. Big rip right there.
Rips through again, this time back into the glove of Niels. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
Boom.
Wilson Weber will step in. Ty Peterson. at first. Wilson Weber at the dish. That one misses outside.
Something about Weber that every time I look at him, he reminds me of Matt Stairs, big time hitter in the big leagues.
Body type, the approach, or both?
Both. Matt will come out of his shoes at any time. He was a hockey player growing up. Ended up playing in the big leagues, Montreal, Boston, Phillies. Professional hitter.
Here's the 0-2. Went around. Consecutive strikeouts. Joe Sperry getting the job done for Minnesota.
He knew he couldn't hold up right there. Tough approach.
Sperry making his second appearance of the weekend. Saw him on Friday when the Gophers faced Oklahoma. Went one inning, struck out one Sooner. His previous appearance was on opening day against Houston, where he lasted 3 innings. Richter playing deep, unable to glove it with his back to the plate. A hit for Weber, or Talt rather. Weber struck out swinging, Talt with a 2-out single.
He thought he looked like he was going to make the play, but the way he turned kind of put it right over his head, and he couldn't reach back to make the play. You're right. He was playing short right field like a rover in softball. That's how deep he was.
Chance for A.J. Singer. Singer to the left side for Spanier. Backhands it over to Alberry to record the final out. And the Beavers leave a pair stranded. Still trail by 6.
What a nice play. Ranging to his right. Backhand, quick release. Got him in plenty of time. Nice play.
Heading to the 9th inning in Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic. Gophers look to add to their lead with Alberry, Kirkland, and Sutherland. Oregon State and Minnesota in Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic. Tanner Douglas will come on to pitch for the Beavers. His second appearance of the year. Lasted just 1 inning in his previous outing, giving up a run on 2 hits. And he is left with a task of making sure the Gophers don't add anything else. Already trailing by 6, heading to the 9th inning. And after starting their year with 5 consecutive wins, Beavers in danger of heading back to the Pacific Northwest with 2 consecutive losses.
Which was not what this trip was intended to look like for these guys.
Oklahoma waiting to face Virginia. Scheduled for a 4 o'clock Central Time start. We know that'll be pushed back. We should have a new start time by the time we leave the stream in this game. They're all playing the Sooners, Cavaliers, Beavers, and Gophers all entering the weekend with the belt in mind. Elbery, first pitch to him. Teams fighting for the WWE Style Championship belt. And if this result holds, that Virginia-Oklahoma game will be a true title game. Virginia could push its record to 2-1 and make Oklahoma be 2-1 as well. And then the Cavs would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. It's pretty. A lot of detail there on the front and on the sides. Whoever wins it brings it back to campus with a great deal of pride. And we hope one of those players is wearing it to class Monday morning. Very cool. Elbery fouling that one off towards the beer garden. I've never been a big wrestling guy, Harji, but I can still appreciate that trophy.
Well, I have always been, and it's ironic that on my radio show, my daily radio show, my co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and was the WWE champ at one point. So I've got to see those actual championship belts. And let me just tell you, there's a lot of pride involved in getting those belts.
So when he lost his title, he didn't have to surrender the belt to the new champion.
You have to, but you get to keep yours when you get that championship hardware.
2-2 the count to Jake Elbery. Swing and a miss. Tanner Douglas starts his outing with a strikeout.
For those who are wondering what I'm talking about, my co-host is WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man, the Mark Henry. So I've gotten to be around those real belts, and I see what Pika Vince is doing to create those.
You can hype yourself up. Where do the people in Minneapolis, Corvallis, and all points beyond find you? iHeart app?
iHeart Radio app, that's right. It's always free on the iHeart Radio app, and it's AM 1300 The Zone.
You're in Austin?
Here in Austin, Texas, and we're also the home of the Round Rock Express, the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, that these games are being played in their AAA ballpark.
Tanner Douglas fielding his position. Kirkland is retired. 2 up, 2 down.
Nice play off the mound to be able to jump off and go towards the third baseline, make the spin. Strong throw, and plenty of time.
Gophers will make a change and allow Jake Larson to hit. Larson still searching for his first hit of the season. He's 0 for 2. Missing high and away.
You know, you mentioned that. I guarantee the folks in Minnesota know exactly who he is because wrestling is huge in Minnesota.
1-1, one hopper to Arquette and on to Craig. Douglas with a 1-2-3 inning in the ninth. And you can hear the Beaver fans trying to help their team get up for a big rally in the bottom of the ninth inning. Reeder, Caraway, and Arquette due to the plate for Oregon State. Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic.
Face. What triggers this unique expression? Cooking your meal as soon as you ordered with the freshest ingredients. Are you ready to discover your taco face? Taco Palenque, food in real time, no matter what.
Oregon State and Minnesota in Game 5 of the Round Rock Classic. Oregon State playing an independent schedule this year, while Minnesota in the Big Ten, not predicted to reach the NCAA tournament. In the Big Ten preseason look from D1 baseball, seeking a first trip back to the NCAAs since 2018. It's been 6 seasons.
Six seasons.
The way they're playing today, they look like a tournament. Now, can they make it a consistent look?
A lot of times, all it takes is one. You get that kick start, and everything starts to fall into place for you.
We'll get more good tests next weekend as the Gophers will play at Arizona State for 3 starting on Friday. Take a win over Oregon State, follow that up with, let's say, 2 out of 3 against the Sun Devils, and you've really got something. Conference play begins the week after that. Coming up quickly for these Gophers, as the Big Ten opener is March 7th at US Bank Stadium against Purdue. Big swing and a miss by Reeder at the bottom of the Oregon State order. 2 outs from a victory for Minnesota.
Big swing, and this is a big opportunity right here for Minnesota. You look at Oregon State and who they are, their stature, what they do. Number 7 ranked team headed into the weekend. In Minnesota, trying to put together a solid game for once. You know, we talked about the ability to go out there and battle and continue to fight every single day. Showing up to the ballpark gives you those types of opportunities. And they came out today. They could have put their head down on that first inning when they got robbed of the home run. But they came on and kept fighting, and now they're sitting at a 10-4 lead in the bottom of the ninth.
Caraway, 3 for 4 on the afternoon. Last time up, had an RBI double. Facing a 1-2 count against Joe Sperry. Sperry rears back and blows one past Caraway. Gophers 1 out away.
90-mile-an-hour fastball that was letter high that Caraway, who's had 2 good at-bats here lately, just couldn't catch up with. 3 good at-bats.
Sperry has recorded 5 outs in relief, 4 of them Ks. And Iva Arquette, the last player in the way of Minnesota's win. Gophers leading by 6 over Oregon State, bottom of the 9th inning. 2 out, nobody on. Arquette, last time up, with a 2-run homer. One pitch, fouled back. Minnesota now just 1 strike away. Arquette with 11 total bases on the weekend. Best in the Round Rock Classic. 1-2 pitch, missing inside.
See if he comes back with the breaking ball cutter on the outside. Change the eye level on that previous pitch. Let's see what he comes back with right now.
The 2-2 coming. To the third baseman, Martin scoops and throws across the diamond. Minnesota has a signature victory, beating the 7th-ranked team in the nation, Oregon State, 10-4.
Well, a big-time win for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Team that's been fighting all weekend. All the games have come down close to the end, and this time they opened it up for a 10-4 victory. Big home run by Martin, clutch pitching, and just a great performance by the Minnesota Gophers.
First-year head coach Ty McDevitt told us yesterday that he was encouraged by what he saw from his ball club Friday and Saturday, but they have to figure out a way to win. Figured that out against one of the best teams in the country.
And you can see the joy on their faces. I was watching them go through and high-fiving each other. You can just feel that release after that victory. Congratulations to the Gophers.
Biggest win of the short career of Ty McDevitt as the head coach of the Golden Gophers. Just week number 2 in that role. And the Gophers win big over the Beavers. 1 more to go here in Round Rock. It'll be for the belt, the championship game between Oklahoma and Virginia, coming up at approximately 4:25 Central Time. Available exclusively here on D1Baseball.com. For now, enjoy the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic, Coastal Carolina and NC State, also here on D1Baseball.com. We'll see you in about 70 minutes.